someone watching this all the way to the end is really going to get that value of the experience of your websites, your background, your SEO, and how important it is to a business. I think that's the
Welcome to podcast number 8.
9. I'm starting to wonder, do you plan this?
No, I actually don't. I actually don't know what podcast is.
Well-
Welcome to podcast number 9.
Well, I thought on this one that we could do things a little bit differently because when we've spoke to other people, obviously they don't really know our backgrounds. So I thought we have spoken about doing ones where we just talk to each other and ask each other questions just to give some deeper insight to our background and what we've done. So I think this week would be a cool one to focus on yourself, mate, and just give some real good background because people don't realize what you've done in the past, and it's super impressive. So I thought let's do like a whistle stop tour of after leaving school. We're both in the same school. Then obviously you go off and have your 9 to 5 era, and then move into entrepreneurship. So let's just have like that whistle stop tour of what happened after you left school. Where did you go, and how do you go from there?
So yeah, left school in Southampton, and then I went to college for 1 year. I had no idea what I was going to do. No idea. So I was just trying to fumbling around thinking, I don't know, what are you going to do? So I think it's very hard leaving school, understanding what to do. You got no history of skills, or it's very hard to know who you want to be and what you want to do. So I went to college and I did, random subjects, law, business studies, sport, and I can't remember what else.
Okay.
I did pretty well. And then I got an apprenticeship, engineering apprenticeship with Ford. And that was a 4-year apprenticeship with them, which was absolutely great. Learned a lot.
When you
Probably
say, I
learned,
was gonna say, with the apprenticeship with Ford, is it that you're taking apart cars, you're putting?
yes, no. So it was factory work, but it was doing maintenance, like engineering maintenance and installations of automation for the production line. So I worked in a Ford factory of they were building out the transit vans.
Yep.
And our job was to keep the production going.
Mhm.
So it's on 2 shift, morning and night shift. And basically our job was to just keep it running, dealing with the robots, dealing with the automation of the lines. And as an apprentice, when you're 18, 19, it was a very interesting place to be because it was like 500 guys in basically a big warehouse.
Yeah.
On a production line, and seeing an 18, 19-year-old doing the job, fixing the machinery stuff, the guys would break stuff on purpose, and then you would have to go and try and figure out, but they knew what was wrong with it. Because they wanted a break as well, because they were on the production line all day. They was doing, production, the same task. So they would ask, I want to have a break. So they'd break stuff on purpose, and then the apprentice would come up, try and fix it, but obviously, you're learning, you don't know what you're doing. So it was actually really good I probably learned more in terms of people skills and actual skills of that career. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do, it was great, but I just knew I didn't want to work in a factory forever. And then, so yeah, I did that for a few years, and then we got made redundant.
Yeah. Okay.
And we got offered redundancy, or we could take a job in Wales,
Okay.
which for even more money, which is a lot of money for my age, but I turned it down. And one of the reasons I turned it down was actually my dad. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. So do I go to Wales, or do I go traveling, or what do I do? And he was like, you got a bit of paper. Really good story, this.
Okay.
He got a bit of paper, he drew a line down the middle,
Yeah.
and then a line at the top. He put Wales on one side and traveling on the other side. And then in the Wales side, he put, okay, you're going to go to Wales, be on good money, you go there with your girlfriend, you'll get engaged, you'll get married, you'll buy a house. That's your life. And then on the traveling side, you put a question mark.
Oh, holy shit!
Which was super powerful at that age, because I didn't know what I wanted so that was just so exciting for me. So yeah,
I've never heard that specific story. That is incredible.
really good. Yeah, really, absolutely wise man. So, and that was it. I made that choice, and then we had.
How old were you then?
20 or 21.
20 or 21. Okay, and yeah, wow, what a powerful moment.
It was. So he's actually, so he's not my blood father. I see he's been my life since I was 3. So he is my dad. But just before that as well, around that time, my actual dad died.
Oh.
So it was a crazy time in my life, getting made redundant, and then actually my dad dying all around the age of 20.
Yeah.
So kind of then just like a big push. Okay, sweet, let's just go figure this stuff out.
So, but how did the dad's passing for the bloodline dad? How did that steer you? Kind
Well, he got told he had cancer, and they said you got 2 weeks to live, and he died 12 days later. So basically, saw the demise of him within 12 days, and then he was in a hospice and was just he was telling me his life regrets and everything on his deathbed, waiting for him to die. So it was pretty a transformative time for my life. So.
I can imagine somebody on the deathbed telling you all the things they wish they'd done.
Mm-hmm.
That probably has some kind of impact.
It's probably been. I know it sounds crazy. You obviously don't want your dad to die, but it's probably one of the most powerful things that ever happened to me in my life, and it kind of drives me now for every decision that I make. Of will I regret this on my deathbed? When you're looking at those fluorescent lights, one of those last times where you look back and will you regret, all the decisions, and so that's the way I live my life now.
So these two massive things happen quite near each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's the next step for you? Where do you go from there?
Yeah, so next step, I think we got told the redundancy was like, I don't know, 10 months before.
Okay.
So I was just, and then was just figuring out, okay, let's go traveling, let's figure this out. And then, yeah, so I think in August 2013, flew out to America.
Yep.
With my girlfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we did America for 6 weeks. And then I met two other friends who also got made redundant.
Yep.
And then we continued in America for another few months. And then we traveled. So I think in the end, I did 32 states in America.
Okay. Just
30?
traveling in a random car or what?
Amtrak trains,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
cars, buses.
Yeah, nice.
US is a crazy place. I've been at some interesting countries.
Mm-hmm.
US is probably one of the most sketchiest, not in terms of necessarily dangerous, but just because the transition from wealthy and safe to dangerous is one street. So it's really quick where you go from one territory to the next. So you have to be really careful and know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we traveled to New Zealand for 3 months.
Yep.
Then went to Australia for 3 months. And then I flew back to New Zealand and then worked and lived in Queenstown, New Zealand for a year.
Yeah.
Great place. New Zealand is absolutely unbelievable. You got to go there. It's like a small Canada.
Okay.
Basically, you can actually drive somewhere in an hour and be somewhere.
Here, that's just down the shop.
That's just down there, all my hair. So yeah, and then in Queenstown, I had a job as a barman, and then worked probably one of the only. I've had 2 jobs that I enjoy. I worked as a sound and audio visual,
Okay.
not a technician, but just like helping install stuff
Yep.
for like gigs, doing all the sound and the audio for them, festivals,
Yeah.
lots of work, but absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
It's just like we're a good group of guys, and yeah, absolutely awesome.
So you're doing all that. What kind of year are we talking now? So you into Queenstown.
Queenstown, so that'd be 2000. By that time, 2014 to 15.
Okay.
So I was like
awesome.
23, I
Yeah.
guess. And yeah, so I was single around then. Me and my ex broke up. I can't remember. A few months after I started traveling.
Yeah.
I think I just realized I just wasn't going home.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was it. I was,
That's it. Getting away from Southampton and then never coming back. And then it's like, right, cool. I'm a free man now. Now what do I do?
yeah. And then, so yeah, Queenstown for a year.
Yep.
And then I moved back to Australia.
Yep.
Lived in Australia. So in Australia, I moved to Sydney with Ben.
Okay.
And then a little while after that, I met Nicola.
Yep.
My current fiancée.
Yep.
So I was in Sydney for 3 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Had a crazy job there actually.
What was it?
I was an electrician, and basically it was
With no skills. You're not an electrician.
well, that's part of the apprenticeship as well.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What, as in Ford?
Yeah, Ford, you did like mirror writing, so it's like electrical stuff, mechanical stuff, so I can weld, can like do lathes, do mirror writing.
What? Who are you?
Yeah. Program robots and
Okay,
so
cool.
programming. So had a job maintaining vintage carousels. So like these $1 million, the horse carousels.
Yeah.
There's this massive warehouse with all these $1 million carousels, and people would have events there. Me and working with Ben,
Right.
and we basically taking them apart, redoing them up, rewiring them, and getting them ready for the events.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, that was a cool job, actually.
Yeah.
The boss is absolute whatever, but I mean,
Well, bosses are, mate.
bosses are bosses. My boss now is a real dick as well.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so then you've done these carousels, and then what's the next road? Because at some point the entrepreneurship comes, but obviously we'll get there.
Yeah.
But the journey to get there is obviously like a windy path.
It was a windy path indeed, yeah. And then after there, I met Nick,
Mhm.
and then me, Nick, and Ben, we moved down to Tasmania,
Okay.
and we did like farm work,
Mhm.
apple picking, and things like that. And probably thinking back, that was probably one of the most influential times in terms of trying to figure out who I was, because I had a lot of time by yourself doing farm work, doing a lot of silence, and a lot of just, who am I? What do I want to do? Because
Mm.
before I was living in the cities and living, party lifestyle, living in a penthouse, super nice apartment in Sydney and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then moved to like a totally different lifestyle and just had a lot of time by myself and just figuring out who I was and what I wanted to do. So really influential time for me. And then lived in Tassie for 2 months, then moved up to a crazy place called Kununurra, which is like in the northern territories of Australia.
Yep.
And then there I was like a manager of a 100-acre seed farm, which was crazy. My biggest week I did, on average, it was 100 hours a week, but I think my biggest did 120 hours for
Wow.
3 months. Like crazy. You do
What's
like
that? Like a day?
I was doing 17, 18 hours a day sometimes,
Oh,
and
on a seed
43
farm.
weeks.
Well, you fucking managing seeds. Oh, that seed looks all right. Yep, that can go through.
Something like that. So no, basically, I went there at the start of the season, and my job was managing all the water with irrigation.
Oh,
So
yeah.
sometimes you were managing millions of liters of water a day.
Okay.
I had some crazy experiences there, like because everything wants to kill you. And like,
What? Look.
everything, all the animals, not the people.
Oh, right.
Some of them they do. It's a
Yeah.
pretty crazy place. So
What? Spiders.
spiders,
Snakes.
king, like I think it's a king brown.
Oh, yeah.
They're there, and
They're dead.
one night at like 2 o'clock in the morning, it was just me there. There's no phone reception. You're 40 minutes away from anything, and I had a head torch and looked down, and one was on their like, I don't know, not on their back, but stood up looking at me.
What'd you do?
Shit my pants. That's what I did. Literally just
You ran or
slowly
what?
step. No, you got to slowly step away.
Ooh.
But you'd have to kill them. So throughout the day,
Mm.
you would have to, if you saw them, you were told, drive over them, get out, and just chop their heads off.
Okay.
Because they were just everywhere.
Yeah, deadly.
Deadly.
Okay.
So
doing the seed managing, and then you
Yep.
go where?
then after there, we lived in a camper. We bought a camper van, and we lived in a camper van for a few months and travelled down the west coast to Australia
Uh-huh.
and down to Perth. And then we lived in a small town called Bunbury.
Oh, yeah.
Bunbury, yeah. I think it's like an hour or so inland of Perth.
Yeah.
There we worked on a olive farm. So I
Okay.
think there's 80,000 olive trees.
Yeah.
And our job was to prune them all. So I was chainsawing all day, 10 hours a day chainsawing.
It's a lot of manual labour stuff.
I had a lot of I've done my time in manual labour.
I've done like it's prison.
Oh.
I've done my time in manual labour.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah, now I'm just a keyboard warrior with soft hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember on one of the first days, he didn't have, I can't remember what they're called, the trousers that you're meant to wear that protect your legs.
No.
He didn't provide them. On my first or second day, I chainsaw nicked my trousers.
All right.
And obviously, if you actually hit your leg is
Gone.
gone. So yeah.
Is they meant to be like chainmail trousers or something?
Yeah, so basically they're like these mesh trousers you put on, and as soon as you hit them, it will just wind up and it stops it. So luckily I didn't chop my leg off, and then we made him get them.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair play.
Yeah. Oh, actually, funny story actually back from the story up north. I remember on my first day, I got bitten by a poisonous caterpillar, and my thumb went twice as big.
Oh,
I've only got small thumbs anyway, so it just went to normal size.
well, you just like
But it was in my glove, and I put my glove on. I was like, "What's that?" And I just shook it, and so it stung. And then my thumb just went twice as big.
oh,
And on that same day, they were showing me a tour, and there was a 1 or 2 liter bottle of vodka in the back of the chair in the truck. I was like, "What the hell is this?" They were like, "That is there just for emergencies." I was like, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, if you get bitten by a snake, you're gonna die, so you may as well just drink the vodka and just listen to the radio."
yeah, now that's a bit scary there.
Yeah, but that's what it was. There was a
And you were like fine with working in a place where you could be bit by a snake and that's it, you're done.
that was part of my lifestyle then. Yeah, so kind of just moving around, living that life.
We're doing all this, the working on the farms, and then where do we go after the
So
farms?
where was I
'Cause
in? So yeah.
'Cause, there's obviously all this journey that's in these different type of work,
hmm
the manual labour jobs, and you said it gave you really good time to reflect. So what was the outcome of you're sat there reflecting, and you're like, okay, cool. Now what do I do?
I think there's two types of entrepreneurs.
Yep.
There's people who get pulled to be an entrepreneur, people that get pushed to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people that get pulled feel like they have a like a greater purpose, but I was more pushed from doing things and being told things that I didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
People telling me to get up at a certain time. People telling me when I can eat my lunch.
Mm.
I just didn't. I didn't like being told what to do, so I was pushed into the entrepreneurial path just from not wanting to work for people.
Okay.
So knew that I wanted to do something myself. Just had no idea what that was,
Mm.
and then basically just I thought I'll just buy a laptop. And then I was in this is when I was living in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just quickly. So yeah, after Australia, we flew to New Zealand, and
Yeah.
then we cycled the whole country. So
Yeah.
me, Nick, and Ben, we started at the top. We cycled the whole country, and then there's a few trips. We went to Fiji, and then we travelled Asia for a little while. Yeah, and then we moved to Canada.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I remember just really not knowing what I wanted to do in my life. Really lost, really unfulfilled, and literally just had no idea. I knew that I had to make some changes, but didn't have a clue what they were.
Yeah.
So just started going to work. Just started learning stuff. Started, just trying to get into the positive mindset. That reading business books and realistically, I didn't really do anything for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Started. I'd done the personal work of knowing, having the confidence to go and be the entrepreneur that I knew I could be, but didn't know what that was and didn't have any skills to go and do something, which is quite a scary place to be because
Mm-hmm.
you have the belief, but you don't have the skills.
Yeah.
So really then just knew, okay, what does I want to do? What do I like doing? And just basically, and the truth is I didn't actually know what I like doing. I just had so much fun. I left from the age of 20 to 28. I was just living for then, living for now, drinking and traveling and,
Mm.
working, and then just kind of started looking into building websites
Yep.
and then, the digital marketing side of things. And then had a friend in the UK.
Okay. And what age are we now? Like
So I would say 28, 29,
28, 29, and that's 2000.
19, is it?
Okay, so 2019, so
Mm-hmm.
roughly about 7-ish years ago.
Maybe in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, around COVID time, actually.
Right. So you're in this position where I know that I want to be an entrepreneur. I've read these business books and I feel quite like this is the route for me, but I just don't really know how to move forward with it.
Yeah.
And then there's this point where you have a friend that is an entrepreneur or
Yeah.
is making money by
Yeah.
himself. And then what do you do there?
So then I said to him, can I come and live with you for 6 weeks?
And what did he say?
He said, yeah. So I flew from Canada to England and lived with him for 6 weeks and learned everything I could for him.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's a
Yeah.
what kickstart.
Yeah, and then we started working together. Yeah, it was absolutely. I just thought,
So
what's the quickest way to really get this going?
Mhm.
The best thing you can do is find mentors, find people who know more than you, and show that you're hungry and eager, and latch onto them and squeeze as much juice as you can from them. Which is because you find that once then you step up to that level, you allow other people to do that to you as well. Because then you pass on to the next generation of, because that's a scary place to be when knowing that you want to do more and don't know where or how. It's a scary place, and you need people to help guide you
Mm.
in the right direction. So yeah, lived with him for 6 weeks.
And what did you learn from him specifically?
Web development, web design, and then we worked together and we got some big contracts.
Mhm.
And yeah, and that basically started my development into my web agency,
Mhm.
which went really well.
So you because with him, you were telling me about a project which I thought he gave you this large project. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
What was the kind of cost of that project? And like,
30, I think it's around 30K US.
30K US.
And that was my like third website.
Wow, that's a massive
And
project.
he was like, "You're running this." He was like, "If you need me,
Oh,
then you can like I'll help you." And he'll jump on calls because at that point, there's so many things into like just building the website and designing the website is one part of it, but dealing with the clients is another part of it. That there's so many things that come into because at that point I wasn't running a business, I was still self-employed.
Mhm.
So jumping on the calls and then knowing what questions to ask to continue the progress of the website and get the right information was a new skill that I had to learn. So it wasn't just the technical side, it's then the people's, the jumping on the calls of the corporate companies and
Yeah,
knowing the lingo but I hated the corporate side of things. So
yeah.
as soon as I did that one, I said, I'm never doing it again.
Okay.
Yeah, hated it because you jump on a call and there'd be 2 or 3 people discussing the color of a button.
Yeah.
And you go, guys, this is taking too long. Needs to be decided before or after. We're not sitting on this call because people in the corporate world, um, fair play, but they're they're 9 till 5, and all they're trying to do is get to the end of the day and make sure that they give enough value to the business that they don't lose their job.
Mhm.
So they want to jump on calls. They don't care if they get any value out of the call or not. But when you work for yourself, every minute counts. You'll be jumping on 2 or 3 calls a day and you wouldn't get anywhere.
Mhm.
But these guys, they're just getting paid. Fair play. So they're just like, okay, make sure I'm valuable. Let's jump on a call with someone. Let's look like I'm doing more. Not everyone,
Yeah.
but in the corporate world, that's what it is. There's so much wastage. As businesses scale, there's so much bloat. There's
Mhm.
so many people, like that within the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, did a few projects there, and then just started my own web agency alongside with the SEO,
Mhm.
and then we transitioned into so quickly just before that, as I got my permanent residency in Canada,
Okay.
me and Nicola, we were like, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
Like, we need to figure out a way that we can both run online businesses so we
Mhm.
can continue this lifestyle and the freedom that we want.
Yep.
So I decided again, go do the web agency and flew and lived with Mason. And then Nick started doing the immigration consultancy
Yep.
course.
Okay.
So I was going to learn the digital marketing and the online stuff,
Mhm.
and Nick would learn natural skill, and then we'd start the business, which then is Wild Mountain Immigration.
Yeah, awesome. So then you've got the skill under your belt where you are now a web designer, you're able to build websites, SEO, all that kind of focus. And then you've said to Nick, I remember you saying to me, essentially, we need to get online and we need to be independent of
Mm-hmm.
having an employer. So you've created Wild Mountain Immigration, which is helping people from other countries immigrate to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And that's focused on the permanent residency and spousal sponsorships, etc. And then where do we go from here? So we've got Wild Mountain Immigration,
Mm-hmm.
which is set up and running. But then we've got our website design agency. So what happens next?
So then business was going really well.
Mm-hmm.
And we were living in Canmore in Canada
Mm-hmm.
for a few years, and we didn't know if we wanted to stay there forever.
Yep.
So we decided, funny story. So we wanted to leave there. We went to look at one apartment in Calgary,
Yeah.
and for the price, it was so small. In Calgary, it's not the best city. And on the drive home, we just decided we're moving to Bali.
Who said it?
Nick,
Okay, she's
Nick.
like, let's go to Bali.
But she was just like, should we just move to Bali? And I remember we were just sat at McDonald's. We were like, we actually could now
Yeah.
because like for the first time we were making enough money that we're actually independent. We
Mhm.
didn't have a job. Nick was still working part time,
Mhm.
but we were making more than enough money to go, right, sweet, let's go.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of planning to go there for a trip, but then we was just like, let's just move there.
Yeah.
So we decided. So I think about 6 weeks later, that's it. Everything was packed up,
Yeah.
sold all of our stuff, had a little storage unit, and just left. And we kind of planned to be in Bali for 6 months, but two years later.
Yeah, okay. The 6 months I remember that's when we were talking about, because we met up in Bali 2023, like October, November time. So that's the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So that's where our kind of timelines
Yeah,
more like collide.
because realistically, we hadn't spoken properly for
Yeah, it was like
years.
little bits here and there, but
Yeah.
nothing too major. And then you happened to be going to Bali, and I said to my brother at the time, who I'd gone into business
Yep.
with, and he was working with me on the marketing agency because I convinced him to leave his job to come work with me. And then we went to Bali to focus because I think that's when our dropshipping stuff was going off, and we went there to build the dropshipping arm of the business,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we collide. So we start talking more in November 2023 or October, November 2023. And you said to me, "Oh, we're going to be in Bali for a few months." And then that ends up being a couple of years. But during that time, what's your main focus from 2023 onwards from an entrepreneurship side of things?
So yeah, main focus was I still had the web agency going. I had a few contracts,
Mm-hmm.
and we decided to go all in on the immigration business. So
Okay.
I cut all my ties, so basically dropped the web agency because I just wanted to focus on one thing.
Mhm.
And then yeah, we were scaling that pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
Um, and then we found that the business model was all business models are scalable, some easier than others. Obviously, the issue with the immigration one is you have to have a constant flow because there's no consistent income from each person. You know, maybe if they come in on a work visa, you can get them permanent residency and then citizenship. But most people come in later where they just want their PR. So you can't earn that much money from each client. It's a one and done shop thing.
Right.
So just the churn rate is obviously 100%.
Yeah.
Everyone comes. So it's just a constant battle with marketing and, and that type of thing. So, and also we were scaling it pretty aggressively. And Nicola, she didn't want to have a lot of employees working for her. We had a few employees working for us on the marketing side, but because it's such a important task to get right, because it's people's lives. If you get their immigration wrong, they may have to leave Canada.
Mhm.
And Nicola really feels that pressure of ensuring that it's done right. So she didn't want to take on a load of immigration consultants to then have to check them all.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, I don't want to scale this business anymore. And then at that time, they cut immigration by 40%. And most of our leads, 80% of our leads were all SEO.
Yeah.
So actually our margins were so crazy high. So it was a really nice, in terms of that. But then that just happened.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than running a business with your partner and then being anxious in bed. So we decided to descale that business because we had so many people coming through the door. So we descaled that and then just allowed Nick to have a 6-figure business,
Mhm.
way chill, way more chill, way less pressure. And then just gave me the opportunity to then go and start something else,
Mm-hmm.
which at the time was, absolutely perfect. So yeah, we kind of, stage one was getting one business model working. And then stage two is now, okay, Nick's got a beautiful little business
Mm-hmm.
that she can just self-fulfill now. I don't need to do any marketing. She gets everything through word of mouth.
Yep.
So it's a beautiful little business.
Yep.
And then now we had this where we can really go deep and really scale because I've not got to share the same bed as you.
So you have this immigration business with Nick. Obviously, it's still running, turning over nicely, and then you have a little interlude where because you kind of went into the e-commerce for a little bit.
Yes,
Uh,
that went well.
Yeah, so you've done nicely there. Because what made you decide to open the e-commerce store, and before moving into a different direction?
I did not know enough about marketing or sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I just realized that I just needed to, drop shipping was never going to be a long-term thing for me, but it was something I just wanted to get into and understand the online market a little bit more.
Yep.
Because when you're a developer, a designer, you don't know anything about sales.
Mhm.
So then, that just really helps me see the marketing side of thing. And with the help of you guys, drop shipping went really well. Yep.
Mhm.
So that was the trouble is with the Shopify is such a dopamine hit, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, it is. As soon as when you things with e-commerce, people always talk about dropshipping. You see so much online where people say, "I made this," and you kind of think, "Ah, that's BS." But then you do it yourself, and when you see it work, you're like, "Oh shit, they weren't lying."
Of course.
You can see the scaling. Suddenly, as soon as you get the sales in, you find the right formula of the ads, the
Mhm.
creative, etc., and then you can scale it up. You're kind of like, right, cool. I push the
Sure.
buttons, and then suddenly I can make my profit
Yeah.
go.
Thing is, like I think drop shipping is one of the hardest businesses that you can start as a first one. There's
Mhm.
so many things that you have to learn.
Yep.
Building a website, running ads, fulfilling items, customer service. there's so many things that come into it, and obviously I already had a lot of those skills, you know, the building the sites and, you know, a lot of those things. It was just the ad side of, um so obviously the journey on that was a little bit easier for me than, but it's a difficult thing to get into, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really is.
People don't realise the amount of work that goes into just an e-commerce store, but then the amount of hats you got to wear. Like you've got to learn Facebook ads, you've got to learn some Google ads, you've got to learn how to build a website on Shopify, you've got to learn a little bit of
Mm.
SEO. Like there's so much to it, and people don't realise. So I think it's a great skill set to have. So you've built up all these skills over those years, and then what made you decide to move over? And because you reached out to me and you said, look, let's do something. I was from my side of thing potentially open to a partnership because me and my brother had kind of
Mhm.
decided to part ways. So and I was like, I've that was the business relationship for me. My previous one where I was the heck of a driver, and I was like, right, let's do this or that, and then some balls were dropped, and I was like, I can't be 50-50 with someone where the balls are getting dropped, and that's when I was like, right, I'm going back on my own.
Yeah, well, at that time of descaling the immigration business, I had
Mhm.
stepped into another business, which was running like an e-com brand,
Yeah.
and just I didn't care about the product enough.
Mhm.
I guess I think it was just, you know, perfect timing, but just like the story of the product just wasn't me so much. So I guess my why wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
So just decided, okay, right,
And just to clarify, like before you and I make a partnership, you were involved with another e-commerce brand, which
mm-hmm.
was more of a productized, how would you describe it? Like hardware.
Conversation cards.
Yeah, conversation
Great, great
cards.
design. Like, to be fair, they were beautiful.
No,
And actually,
I love the product.
yeah,
I've still got
yeah,
a couple of them back home. They're
yeah.
brilliant.
And the business partner is still running it, and I hope
Yeah.
it goes super well. She's just got a new partnership with
Like, she's still running the business.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she's got some few
yeah,
partnerships going on with that, and it sounds great.
yeah, yeah. So really hope that goes really well for her. Great girl. So yeah, hope that that still goes well. Um, but all business partnerships, they don't always work out. I think that's part of it, is understanding who you are, and if they're, you know, just, you know, and just making sure that you don't waste their time and they don't waste your time, and you can both go on, both be successful, but just in different paths.
Mhm.
So, you know, there's never anything wrong with deciding what's right for you, and then because it is hard sometimes, you start something else and it's all exciting, and then, you know, you go, oh, I don't know if this is for me, and a lot of people stay in that partnership then too long because they've, you know, lost probably,
Mhm.
yeah, a bit of money on there, but that's cost of business.
Mhm.
You know, you've got to, I think you've got to lose money to take money out. I think that's just price to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to pay to play the ride, but
I think that all business is just a roll of the dice, isn't it? Like,
all of them.
is this like I find in all my experience when you invest into something, you either learn something or you make more money or both.
But usually both.
Both is usually the better way.
Just one costs you or one makes you.
Yeah,
You're definitely learning either way.
absolutely.
And then I basically was like, okay, so I want to start a new business. I was like, what skills do I have? Where is the world going?
Mhm.
And everything that I came to, I looked at building a real estate app. I looked at, there's lots of things, and everything just came down back to AI. Because even
Okay.
that the app I was going to build was AI based, and it was going to be like a Tinder style real estate app.
Yep.
Still a great idea.
I think it is.
So
Yeah.
basically just Tinder style that would learn exactly what you like, and it would gamify like someone buying a house.
Yep.
And then we would make money, so it'd be free for the user, but then we would have real estate agents on the back end that would then get access to the people on the app,
Yeah.
and then you basically partner them together. So, but yeah, so everything came back to AI.
Mhm.
So then I reached out to you, was like, hey buddy, like the main skill that I'm missing is ads, marketing.
Mhm.
And I need someone who I can partner with, that I can trust and is hardworking and has the skills. Because it's hard sometimes to run a business when you both have the same skills.
Yeah.
Because one, you both have your own opinions on things,
Mhm.
so then you're clashing. But where we work now together so well is like, your things are your things and my things are my things. You don't need to look at my sites. I'll quickly show you. And you go, yeah, that looks good. Bang, done, bosh.
Yeah.
Same as the ads. I'm not going to go and judge your ads because you know better than me. I'll have an opinion. I'll give you my opinion, but your opinion wins on the ads.
Mm.
My opinion wins on the websites. There's no
Absolutely.
clash. Do you know what I
I
mean?
look at your websites and go, looks fucking good to me. Like,
Look at the speed.
yeah,
That passes it.
it looks fast. It looks good. The client's happy, cool.
Yeah.
Same with the ads. Mate, give them a script, go film it. As long as it looks good, the edit's cool.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we need.
So exactly. So it works really nice when our skills don't overlap, which is actually quite crazy. We are so left and right of our skills.
Yeah.
It's actually perfect. So yeah, then I was just in Bali and just reached out and just thought I'd touch base with you and go, hey mate, I'm thinking about doing something. I know you're in a different spot right now. You're in a bit of a
I was figuring it out. I was
You're
just like,
figuring
right, what do I do with this? Because exactly like you, I'm like, right, what does 2 to 5 years look like from now? And do I want to be focusing here by myself, or do I want to do something and build it? And again, for me, you said about the AI, and I was like, I see that's where it's going.
yeah.
And obviously, we have the marketing with the ads and social media, etc. But AI at the core of it is going to be so integral to the future of businesses, and that's when we just kind of dived in with website marketing,
Mm-hmm.
AI, and it's been really interesting, super crazy.
It's interesting times to say this. I actually think I thought I don't think AI in business is going to move as fast as what people think.
I think businesses are slow to adopt AI.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
It's scary. It's
Yeah.
hard. A lot of businesses there's so many businesses that still don't even do paid marketing,
Yeah.
let
Like,
alone AI. There's still so many businesses that we talk to and they go, oh yeah, I've never done paid ads. If you've never done paid ads, how are you going to implement AI? Because there's different parts of stages of businesses and you have to get out of your comfort zone at every stage because you haven't done it before. If people haven't run paid ads to scale their businesses, they're a long way away from implementing AI.
oh, it depends, I think. It depends on like where that AI might fit in and might help them save time, etc. So, but I'm definitely noticing that there are businesses that have opportunities to scale because all they need, they've got a working system. They just need fuel on the fire,
Mhm.
and that's what the paid advertisement does. Paid ads work so great to put fuel on a working system,
Yeah.
and then the AI on top of it just helps you fill the holes in the bucket
Mhm.
if there are leaks. And I think that's the joy of this. It's just so interesting to see how the landscape kind of develops, especially over the next probably, I reckon, 12 to 24 months.
Yeah, it's a super interesting time to see what's going to happen, but it just changes so quickly.
Mm.
Changes so quickly. But obviously, AI is the future. It's a buzzword right now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and mate, I think that was a wonderful deep dive into your background, and someone watching this all the way to the end is really going to get that value of the experience of your websites, your background, your SEO, and how important it is to a business. I think that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Next week, we'll talk about you.
Yeah, we can do indeed.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Brilliant one. Let's wrap it up.
Like and subscribe, baby.
Easy, mate. There you go. That was a bit nice as well. It's like 40 minutes.